Joining the show right now from The Athletic, J.E. Skeets on with Ben Lyons on the Rich Eisen Show. Skeets, you ever had Puff Daddy's eggs at 4 in the morning in Miami?
No, I haven't, but I'm starving now. Hearing you guys talk about eggs for the last couple of minutes.
Appreciate you taking some time to check in today as Team USA, both the men and the women, fresh off their gold medals over in Tokyo. What are your thoughts on just seeing basketball on the Olympic stage and seeing the United States dominate?
Well, did they? Well, the women, yes, dominated. They win gold every single time. Damn impressive team. The men's, I thought, was a really fun tournament, and I think it was helped out by them losing those exhibition games and then, of course, losing to France in the opener and then getting sweet revenge there in the finals. I loved it. It was always difficult to figure out when the game was on and whether or not I had the platform to watch it, but once I figured that out, I love the international game. I'm a huge fan of the 40-minute game. And just a better flow to it in general, I think. So I enjoyed it, even though I'm a Canadian, and I was sad my team didn't make it.
Well, there are some rumblings that this gold medal for Team USA should have an asterisk because R.J. Barrett and Team Canada not in the tournament. What happened? What happened to R.J.'s squad? It is R.J.'s squad now, even though he just turned 21, yeah?
Yeah, it is. I mean, his dad is, of course, heavily involved in the Canadian men's national team, too. Unfortunately, Thomas Satoransky hit a crazy bank shot over Lou Dort to put the Czech Republic into the Olympics and taking Canada's spot. But I'm excited for the future of Canada basketball. But yeah, back to Team USA. It was awesome. I thought all the games were pretty competitive, and it turns out having Kevin Durant on your team means you have a good chance of winning gold because I don't think they win it without him.
I want to stay on Canada because as a card-carrying Canadian, how are you handling with the departure? How are you handling the departure of Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, I'm going through it right now.
I can tell on your timeline. You've been tweeting a lot about it. It's a lot of emotions.
Well, yeah. I mean, it sounds silly, but I have the receipts. The tweets are the receipts. It took like 2 games for Kyle Lowry to play in a Raptors uniform for me to be like, this guy's awesome. Like, he just sort of, like, it's cliche, but he, like, plays harder than a lot of the other guys in the league. And I'm so happy that he's on my team as a Raptors fan and being from Toronto. So to then see him, flourish there, all-star appearances, all-NBA, but then come up short in a lot of like playoff series, not being able to get over the LeBron hump, to then ultimately win it all and have like sort of an iconic moment in that Game 6 in Oakland there where he scored the first 11 points. To see him then win the title was like, wow, it was amazing. And I was like legit emotional for as weird as that is as a grown man watching sports. But to now see him go, nobody's upset with it. Go get your payday. He'll eventually make his way back, I'm sure, to play like 20 games with the Raptors before he ultimately hangs it up and then they retire his jersey number and all that. But yeah, it's been it was a little roller coaster ride. I think I said my goodbyes at the trade deadline, and then they didn't trade him. So I've sort of already gone through it once or twice now here.
Good morning, Sweet World. J.E. Skeets joins the show. You know him from the No Dunks crew on The Athletic. And J.E., I was excited to have you on here, Skeets, because the crackpot staff here at the Rich Eisen Show is always pitching me on different business ventures. It's a really high, powerful, high-powered group of Hollywood players.
Where are you going with this?
Well, you guys are always throwing out ideas. Hey, should we spend $12,000 on this box of cards because we might get an Anthony Edwards rookie? Or, hey, should we put all of your per diem for doing the show on Top Shots? Yes. There are all these new business ventures. And Skeets, you're at the center of a lot of these around basketball. So what are you enjoying that's happening around the game, whether it's Top Shots or trading cards or breaking tees or all this other stuff? You seem to have your hands in a lot of this. You're like the Puff Daddy of basketball business.
Yeah, wait till you try the eggs I'm going to make you guys for in the morning. No, I do not have my hands in a lot of this stuff. Top Shot, yes. TK Trey, I think you had him on the show maybe last week. Mm-hmm. The guy that obviously does the show No Dunks with me, Tass and Lee. He got me into Top Shot. Credit goes to him. Like way back in February, he's younger, he's more in the know, and he's like, I don't know, this thing, it's like licensed with the NBA, NFTs, blockchain. It's like all over my head. I'm too old, but I started looking into it, and I was like, classic at first. I'm like, dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Why would I want to like quote unquote pay and own a clip where I could just watch it online? But then, you look into it a little bit more and it starts to make sense. And of course there is the trading card sort of element to it that most of us did when we were kids. And I was like, sort of got hooked. I was like, yeah, this is fun. I like the idea of collecting. I love the idea of collecting an NFT because I hate having things in my house that I don't need. Like, I'm not like a minimalist by any means, but I just like have no attachment to like actual things usually. So I'm like, just get rid of it. This is a cool way to collect because it's just all digital. So yeah, I got my Raptors moments, got my Lowrys and stuff like that. And Top Shot back in February sort of like mooned and it took off, and it's come back since. But I find it a lot of fun, and Trey and I make content out of it where we rip these packs online and give away a bunch of moments. So, it's basketball at the end of the day. I love basketball, so it's been fun for us.
You guys have been ripping packs way before it was the trend. You guys have been deep in basketball cards for a minute. Is it wild now that I know someone who spent $10,000 on Kendrick Nunn rookie cards because he thinks that's going to pay off? Like, people are making big bets on some of these players. Who do you think is a guy that Brockman and TJ should spend all their money on?
Oh my goodness. Like on actual, real, like cardboard cards? Is that what we're talking about here?
Cardboard card, digital NFT. I know Brockman thinks that the LaMelo business is going to put his kid in college in 20 years.
Sure.
Where do you think the future stars are going in the NBA when it comes to some of these, other businesses?
Well, I mean, I love the thinking of like it's a no-brainer with your LaMelos and your Lucas and probably your Zions and stuff like that. Like, my whole, like, if you want to call it game plan with Top Shot was like Series 1. This is the start of this. If this actually lasts for 20 years, then how could Series 1, basically the rookie, NFT for a lot of these players, their first moment on Top Shot, how could that not have value in the future? Now, whether or not that pays off, who knows? But that was my whole plan. So I was just trying to get as many sort of young stars that I think people also like. Because that was another thing. It was like, you better get Jonas Valanciunas' Series 1 moment. I'm like, I love Valanciunas. He's not a cool player. Like, people want Booker. They want Zach LaVine. They want Donovan Mitchell. They want those type of guys. So that was my whole game plan. But, yeah, I mean, LaMelo and actual true rookies, and I don't know if you've seen any Summer League. I know I've been sort of like just starting to dabble in it here as it started. Like, yeah, you just bet on some of these kids like that, like Jalen Green in his first game looks amazing. You're like, who knows what his career could be.
J.E. Skeets joins the show from The Athletic, part of the No Dunks crew. You mentioned Summer League. You had a great tweet that I highlighted here. There's a special place in heaven for people who watch NBA Summer League. What is that place in heaven? Describe it for the rest of us.
Oh, my goodness. A little tongue-in-cheek. This is like one of the first Summer Leagues I haven't been to in a long time. We used to take our show out there when we were the starters.
You would miss it. You would miss half-court shots annually in front of the Summer League crowd.
How dare you? How dare you? I hit the rim a couple times, Ben, on those half-court shots. It's just like, it's so funny. I'm watching it at home, and I'm like, I sort of miss it, and then I'm enjoying it. And then on the other hand, I'm like, oh, God, thank God I'm not there. Like, we would go to Vegas for like 13 or 14 days straight. That'll kill a man. And, yeah, you want to go to Vegas, everybody knows. 2, 3, 4 days tops. But, yeah, 2 weeks was a lot. So I don't miss that part. But it's like, if you have never gone and you are a basketball sicko like I am, try and get there with friends at some point. Again, for a couple days, don't stay for the whole thing, because it's just a blast. Sort of how up close you would get to a lot of these, players and just even other NBA superstars that like just roll into the building. It's not like you're not obviously going up to them and shaking their hand or taking photos like you're Ben Lyons taking a photo with every celebrity on earth. But
hey, this guy,
you're there.
Hey-o.
How do you do that? It's amazing, Ben.
It's cool. When you're old enough and you've been around, it's like Carmelo. He's got an Oklahoma jersey, a Houston jersey, a Portland jersey now. I'm going to have to pick up a purple and gold Lakers jersey. You've been around the block. You get your picture taken, I guess.
I just love it. Every time you have a photo with every celebrity that's ever walked on Earth, and I love it. I respect it. I wish I could collect those like Top Shot moments.
No, you've been part of the Basketball Jones crew now for 11 years. I've been fired from so many places. That's the difference. I work a lot of different places. You've been with the same 3 morons for the last 10 years. So
Yeah, no, even longer. If we're talking Tass and JD, our producer, we're looking at 15, 16 years together. So no, that's a good point. Now, we've unfortunately also been fired. We just stay together and go to a different place. But
well, what's great about you guys is that while you might have a new scenery over there at the Athletic as opposed to NBA TV, the spirit of what it is you guys do remains the same. And I think through advancements in technology grows even stronger. Talk to me a little bit just about what it is you guys are up to and what you're looking for when you watch these games, because I feel like anybody who listens to your podcasts or watches your shows learns to speak your language around the game of basketball.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Yeah, we've been doing this show for a long time now. At its core, it's just a bunch of buddies that love basketball talking about hoops. I like to think we do a pretty good job of balancing, actually some knowledge of the game because we've watched it for so long and we're old and like can form an opinion about the game, but then pairing that with just like the hilarity around the NBA, both on and off the court. And, it's pretty light. And it's like, again, the best compliment we ever get is like, oh, listening to your show or watching your show is just like hanging out with buddies at the bar, like talking about the game. That's sort of how we do it, exactly like you guys do. So that's cool. We've, a couple of things that we've been doing this so long that some terms we've come up with, mainly wedgie, has sort of entered the basketball lexicon, which is the ball getting stuck between the rim and the backboard. And there are like other little weird things. And that's just because we do a daily show and we do a lot of hours talking about hoops, and there's enough people that enjoy the show and it sort of sticks. And I guess we're all online too and tweeting all that stuff. So it's just, I got the best job in the world. It's crazy. Like every day I wake up, I'm like, somebody pays me to do something I was doing anyway, like watching games and talking about them with my friends. So it's a pretty good job if you can get it.
Well, now it's even getting better for you, Skeets, because in addition to covering the NBA, the WNBA, the World of Top Shot, the Olympics, the Summer League, you're going deep on the world of Fast and Furious.
Nice plug for our new summer podcast.
Have you not been living your life a quarter mile at a time? What do you mean?
I absolutely had not been for 40 years on this planet. I realized at some point, I don't know when, like over the last year, I was like, wow, I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie. Like that's just strange. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm only watching, the fine arts. I grew up in Stratford, Ontario. I like the theater, but I'll also watch crappy movies or weird movies. And I was like, that's strange. Trey is a diehard. Like he's a Fast and Furious freak. So I was like, this could be a funny podcast series during the summer when there's very little basketball going on, that we sit down, I watch them for the first time, and then Trey's the expert. He rewatches them along with JD, our producer, and then we just talk about them. So yeah, we just before jumping on with you here, we just finished the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, third one in the series. I know that's a very polarizing one. So yeah, we're making our way through these movies. I gotta say, I'm loving them. I can see why they're they got their fans. So,
just wait till Tyrese goes to space. You're in for a treat. Those movies are the best. J.E. Skeets joins the show. You know him, of course, from The Athletic, the No Dunks crew. Getting back to the world of actual basketball, does Isaiah Thomas going for 81 in a semi-pro game, or going for 65 down at the Peach Bowl? Like, does he get a shot in the league again because of what he's doing on Instagram and on Twitter, showing up at these semi-pro leagues around the summer all year long?
It's possible. I know Jamal Crawford was doing that for a long time, sort of similar things, those crazy box scores, just lighten up these leagues. Yeah, I think he'll get another chance. He can't, I don't have it in front of me. I can't imagine he's that old. So sure. It is wild to think about his career and like what he was doing on the Celtics and what the playoff moments he was having during a very difficult time, if I remember correctly, with the passing of his sister and stuff like that and his own injuries, to then just sort of how quickly a guy that's proven to be one of the best in the world at his sport, sort of just how incredibly it can just go away from you. And, you bounce around to a couple teams and just sort of can never hang on to that job. But all that said, yeah, let's put it this way. I don't think scoring 80 points in whatever type of game that somebody's filming is going to hurt your chances of getting another crack on a roster. So, yeah, sure. I don't know where it'll be, but somebody will need, there'll be a break in case of emergency, get him in here and, just whether or not he gets another opportunity once he's there.
I hope so, man. I'm rooting for IT. He's 32 years old, which means that he might be too young to join the Lakers. There is a height requirement on a ride. There's an age requirement. Carmelo passed with flying colors. Where were you when the news broke, Skeets, that Melo was coming to the Lakers? Do you remember?
I think it happened right before one of our daily shows when we were doing our free agency roundups. It was one you could see coming from a mile away, especially after the Westbrook deal, especially after there was a bunch of positions open on the Lakers roster, and you were like, well, they don't got a lot of money left. It's going to be going to a lot of guys like a Melo. I called Wayne Ellington. That was the one I kept saying for weeks. Oh, they're bringing in a shooter like Wayne Ellington. He's coming back. Didn't see the Ariza one coming in that and Dwight, but I like it. I know you're a fan of Melo. I love Melo too. So him finally playing with LeBron, which I think is what people have been hoping would happen over the last couple of years at least, like just to see it. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. And he's still decent. I mean, he's like a 40% three-point shooter when he was in with the Blazers there. He's going to get shots on the Lakers. It's just whether or not they'll be able to stop anybody. That's going to be the issue. They need an elite year from Anthony Davis, being on the floor and then playing like, defensive player of the year like defense back there for them to stop anybody. Because, oh my goodness, the perimeter is not going to be that great on lockdown.
No, you're still right, Skeets. All the attention, of course, on the old guys, but really, is AD a top 5 player? If they figure that out, the Lakers will figure it out. But you got to love the inspiration from Melo. I mean, Chris Brockman, a diehard Celtics fan, he's rooting for the Lakers this year. It's awesome to see. You love it.
Stop it.
Lastly, what we have you on here, being a Canadian, we're talking a lot of Pro Football Hall of Fame. You a big Pinball Clemens guy? A lot of Argonauts memories in your youth?
Please tell me you have a photo with Pinball Clemens.
No, that's where the Rolodex runs dry, sadly.
Oh, man. He's actually a really sweet guy. He's a really nice guy. No, got to be honest here with you.
Yeah. Canadian football never really grabbed your heart, huh? No.
Well, look, I'm a weird Canadian as it is that I don't care about hockey. Like, I grew up in Stratford, small town. The hockey team was the thing in Stratford. And I got weak ankles. It was an expensive sport to play. These are all my reasons why I never got into it. So I just don't even care about the NHL. CFL, okay, I keep my eye on it. We got a Grey Cup. Those are usually good games. Okay, it's fun. But, yeah, I don't know what pinball's up to, unfortunately, nowadays, Ben.
Oh, you are the perfect guy, though, before we say goodbye, to answer this question, because you are an expert on all things NBA, all things WNBA, the world of basketball culture, especially when it comes to online journalism. You know a laundry list of people who cover the NBA. You are also a passionate historian when it comes to the television show Survivor. So which NBA reporter do you think would do well on Survivor?
Wow. Never been asked this one. I like that one. I thought you were going to go with the classic, Scott Pollard's been on, Cliff Robinson has been on, other athletes. I think those may be the only NBA guys. Do we just go down, is it just who does better, Woj or Shams?
Well, who would you build an alliance with? Would you trust Woj or Shams?
You couldn't trust either of those guys. They're always spreading the news. They want to be first. I'm going to make an alliance with them. They're going to go behind my back and tell the world, tell the rest of the tribe. I think I go Shams, though, if I'm having to pick between those two. Shams is younger than Woj. I have a feeling he's going to do better in challenges, so that's maybe going to help our chances of avoiding some tribal council. So I'll go Shams.
Skeets, we appreciate you taking some time, man. Any excuse we get to bring up Pinball Clemens, we'll take it. So thank you.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
J.E. Skeets, part of the No Dunks crew. I love those dudes. They got a good thing going on The Athletic, talking hoop, creating he's right, wedgie in basketball. Now people kind of notice it. Rennie gets stuck right in the rim there.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.